Uh, Hello again, this is Krill, playing turn 75 of PB15. Sorry, trying to talk and do the password at the same time. Almost threw me. Um, oh, god damn you, novice, I hate you so much. Oh, that's annoying. He's on that. Um, okay, so novice, I'm not at war with, so I can easily move my chariot underneath. However, actually, he has played some of this turn already, even if he's not ended turn, so even though he played after me, so he could very well have moved that archer onto that hamlet last turn. However, if I move on now, I should get at least one pillage on that. If he does try and pillage twice, that would technically be a double move. So he shouldn't do that. So I feel quite comfortable moving. I do feel quite comfortable moving onto that tile to uncover a bit, but I don't feel comfortable. Actually, do I need to do that? Because I could just give up on this pillage and go for the other one, but whatever, that's not the most important thing. Um, just looking around. I offered map trades last turn, they obviously were not taken by anybody. Because I've got no new map knowledge. That's not a problem. Is there anything new here? Nothing new that I can see around any of these cities. There's no new units. So I'm not going to make any. So there's no new information to affect any changes in my strategy. I'm not going to go and play the turn immediately. What I'm going to do now is try something slightly different. I'm going to actually focus on doing analysis at the start of the turn, um, and only then play the turn right at the end. I'll try and make a highlight of the stream with just a playthrough for those people who have less time to watch. So just looking through the chat log, there's actually, oh, not chat log, the event log. There's nothing really new here. All of this stuff's from the past. Judaism being founded, researching sailing, pillaging a cottage. So there's nothing new there. If I go and check the demographics, I see that someone's GMP figure's only gone to second from third, and I've not changed anything. So that's just growth and other stuff in there. Um, Change that quickly. Um, I've not grown onto any new tiles, so there's nothing affecting that change other on my part. That's somebody else changing the slider. Um, I'm third in land area, so someone else has settled city, or multiple people have actually settled city since I played the last turn. Novice settled a city. Um, Novice settled a city. That's it. So that's novice, I think. Or someone's had border expansions. Could well be Thoth has just taken over. It's not a problem. Nothing major from that stat. Go through GNP. You see the Pindicator. Well, it says Brick here. Brick is a dead lurker, so basically he's a teammate who's logged in to look at the game. His GMP's gone through the roof, so his novices. Sado has actually turned on research. Anything else Doth's falling, comment on the change. No, nothing special. MFG, no one's really close. Everyone's really in quite a tight pack between Sadoa at the top of this pack of 5 and Commodore at the bottom. So there's nothing really new here. So I can just play the turn fairly. I could play a turn fairly quickly, but I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. I've got a new Spearman. And that's actually Spearman 2, so I need to rename these units. Oh, the chariot I've not named. Oh, several chariots I've not named. That's bad of me. That would be, I think, that one should be 6 and this one should be 7. Just to rename these as well. Yeah, 2 spears, 5 archers, 5 chariots, having lost 2 of them in battles. Still got 6 workers. Not much experience towards the Great General, but don't need much. So yeah, because there's no new information, I'm not going to change any of my strategy right now. I'm going to carry on researching maths and try and settle City 5 location, City 7, City 8 locations. I mean, I'd like to expand a bit further south because it would be nice just to claim that land. Unfortunately, there's just nothing there to make it worthwhile. So I'm still not that. Like, I want to, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to actually go through with the turn now. Oh, actually, one thing I do want to check. Every turn I check to see if this horse has been improved. It's when I mouse over it, if it says requires pasture, which means that it needs a pasture on that tile to be improved. If it doesn't say that, I know that tile's been improved, which means I know Novice has settled it and he's improved it and he's about to hook up horses. When I look at the diplomacy screen, there's nothing there to say he's got horses. The new city of Wagner is there, but yeah, no horses. The most relevant point. Nothing with Sadoa. Thoth, obviously, nothing new. Horse, copper, corn, pig, ivory, and a lot of his resources are not hooked, unlike mine. So I'm just going to play the turn because there's no real analysis to do right now. So I'm just going to go through. I'm not going to move that chariot. The spear, I said I want to move up towards the City 5 location, so I'll do that now. I'll move it towards got the reset first and move it over. It's just as fast as moving out the way the archer went. And as I don't need the additional scouting, there's no point to move it out of my territory. Should keep it close at hand in case I need to defend cities with it. So chop in. I mean, I could hold this chop for a few more turns to get the extra 10 hammers due to maths, but really, it's more advantageous to get the granary done. The archer. I want to move the archer down. I do kind of want to uncover a bit more of the fog of war, but I'm just not going to do that right now. I just want to keep it there and make sure no barbs spawn. So keep it on that tile. Carry on with the workers cottaging this tile. I mean, it's not necessarily the best tile to improve right now simply because I don't really need it, but I'll need it in a few turns when the unhappiness from slavery is worn off and I'm not going to have any workers in the area to do that. So I am going to still go, I'm still sticking with the plan to cottage this tile, then go up to the farm to cottage onto that one and cancel, then cottage the plains tile for a turn, and then they split up. Well, one worker can cottage that for a turn and move to the plains hill forest to chop that, and the other one can I'll just have to burn a worker turn to move down and then onto the grassland to chop that. The settler's just gonna. It makes no difference if I road or I road or chop this tile, because the settler from here to my big will just move end turn on the lumber mill, and then it'll end turn in my culture simply because I don't want to show it to Thoth, and he might end up moving a unit out to scout. So I'll just leave it in my culture and then move it out and settle immediately the turn after that. And if I chop both of these forests in, I'll get an immediate granary. Then I can move off the hill, road cancel, or cottage cancel, whatever, and the other worker on the grass hill can move the farm immediately. And I'll get the rice hooked up as fast as possible. After that, it's all about getting the library and barracks down just to push the culture. There's not much else I can build that'll get culture. I just want to make sure that I hold on to the die, which I should do. I'm going to take a risk. I know that there could be a barb on this hill tile, but even if I move along, there's always going to be barbs that I can move next to, and now there's only one tile that they're on. So I'm just going to... I mean, I could move on to the cottage rather than go and try and meet Scooter, but I'm more interested in just getting that final contact right now. Yeah, there's no barb, that's good. Fortify the archer on that hill, because this could be considered aggressive because it is adjacent to Thoth's culture, but on the other hand, he also knows where my culture is. He knows the vision I already have, and there's not many other tiles to put an archer on. That is the most defensive tile I can also put it on. For him to attack it, he's got to move over the river. He's got to show any fast movers. He could attack this unit with an immortal, the Persian unique unit. Yeah, it's just a chariot replacement that gets a bonus against archers. Oh, archery class units. Plus 100% against axemen, like normal chariots. Plus 50% against archery units. Can withdraw. Does also get defensive bonuses. Actually, it's a reasonably nice unit just when you look at the bonuses, but how it actually gets used on a map, it's not really much of a tactically useful unit playing against humans. Or it didn't used to be. Nowadays, when people do actually build archers, it's starting to come back into vogue. So even on this tile, this archer is strength 3, but it's plus 100% defense. So even with, and it's already, yeah. So minus the 50% from the immortal bonus because of how the combat system works, and it's still going to defend with odds even if he's got combat 1 on his immortal. Realistically, I want to upgrade this unit to Gorilla, but because I want to use its city defense, I don't want to upgrade it. I'd upgrade it the moment that I see an immortal. And because of the way the river works, he can't attack out of the fog of war unless he immediately puts it in the city. He roads this tile, this grassland tile, and just moves straight out. And I don't think he'll waste worker turns doing that, truth be told. So, not if he's got an axe in that city. He knows that I'm just going to fortify the archer on that tile and leave it there. He's got an axe. Though, truth be told, he might decide to use the immortal on the gems tile to threaten me a bit, because he's going to road that tile. Anyway, I'll go on to the next one. Chariot. I'm back to the chariot against Novice's archer. God damn him. See, he's going to spend 2 turns pillaging that. If I move up now, and if he pillages on this turn, because he moved on last turn, I move here, he pillages this turn. I move on to the other hamlet, and he finishes pillaging. Then I pillage, he moves, pillage. So it's like, I'll get to pillage this hamlet, he can pillage that one. Um, I'm not at risk of losing this chariot to any barbs, so that's one good thing. Because there's peak, I think there's 2 peaks here, so there's no tiles that this chariot will be adjacent to that could hold a barb. Whereas if I move onto that hill, well, actually, if I move onto that hill, unless Novice moves off, unless he moves off, that archer will defend anyway. No, I've got to move one tile either way, so move up and see if that changes anything. It shouldn't do. Um, I want some of this gold too much, so I'm going to give up on this one by Novice, because I'd get at best I'd get one pillage here and one pillage on this one. But if he's got another unit around here, you can always try and get over here to pillage it. But I'll just take this. I'll just take that. Go for this second tile. I will though try and keep this hamlet alive. So I'll keep the chariot in this area. If Novice moves onto it, I'm going to attack the. I'll attack the archer with the chariot, because to be totally honest, I'll take the experience as well to get the heroic epic unit up. So 3 experience points. I'll have odds. I think that'd be a worthwhile battle to take. So actually, that's most of the turn done. So yeah, I was going to try and do this turn in 2 parts with analysis first, but there wasn't much analysis to do. There is really one thing that I should have commented on. I've always said about literature that I want for the heroic epic, which is really important in my opinion for me trying to kill people and take cities, because that's basically going to be worth at least 25 hammers per turn to me. It basically moves a good city from making a horse archer every other turn to every single turn. But another advantage to going for literature is the Great Library, which people always think is good for great scientists being produced in that city because you get 2 free scientists, but I actually like the Great Library a lot because you get 2 free scientists which give you 6 beakers, which is, to be totally honest, quite a lot if you're struggling to make beakers. It's really nice if you could somehow build the Great Library in a city that's got a lot, that's got an academy as well, because it requires a library. That with the academy, that's 75% beaker production. So that every single turn, rather than get just base 6, you'll get you'll get 10.5 beakers. So it's a significant amount when you consider that right now my break-even tech rate is, what is it, about 50%? It's 28, so that would actually be a third. That would be a third of my break-even beaker rate. That would get every turn, regardless of where I put the slider. I'm actually considering no, how to phrase this. I'm not reconsidering my tech path. I am going to get calendar now anyway. But if I actually had got an heroic epic level unit, 10 experience points, I would have reconsidered this, because aesthetics is more than maths by a fair chunk, but literature's significantly cheaper. It's only 300 adjusted beakers, whereas calendar's 500 odd. So it's around about the same. What was it? 450. So that's basically 750. But you need two other techs, 74 and 150. So you're looking at, what is it? 750, 900, about almost 1,000 beakers to get there. For maths and calendar, it's not quite that much. It's about 900, but it'd be reasonable because basically I want to, because I've not even discussed my great person strategy in this game, but because I've not got a religion, I don't really care for anything other than scientists. Merchants would be nice to cash bomb people so that I can run the fish it slider for longer. But and I want a great artist simply because if someone bombs me, there's not many ways that I can counter that other than kill them very quickly with a lot of units and kill the bomb site. And that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. Um, Running to literature is actually good for trying to get music, although you do need maths. It's one of the reasons why I'm not so bothered about getting to calendar, because I think calendar, whilst expensive, can help me get to music just because of more population and more happiness. Um, so yeah, I would have actually considered going to literature if I had a 10 XP unit, because I could build the heroic epic earlier and start to benefit from it earlier, because I can build the heroic epic even if I've not got horseback riding or ironworking or anything, even if I can't build good units. But if I can build horse archers, well, I've still got to stop building them to build a heroic epic anyway. So it's like it's I can build a heroic. I've got to build a heroic epic at some point. Might as well build it when I've not got the ability to build good units. The earlier to build it, the sooner you benefit from it. So even though I'd have to take something like aesthetics, Shredder Pay is not really going to benefit me because no religions. I don't have any religions, so all I'd really be able to use is free religion, which isn't actually that bad, to be totally honest. Um, it's plus 10% beakers. It's not something you generally sniff at. If you're playing spiritual, you'd actually use that quite a lot. If you're not using theocracy, because you're not building units in every city, and you don't want to pay high upkeep for organised religion. It's a nice like civic to use. Your basic one, you only swap into the others as you need them. But I'm not playing a spiritual leader, so Shredder Pay is not really that useful to me. Statue of Zeus, new units receive +3 experience points is really, really good in certain circumstances. If you're playing charismatic leader, you build a barracks, you build a stable, you build the Statue of Zeus, you get 8 experience points. So you can just build 3 promotion horse archers and just wreck face. It's really fun to do that. There's not the only real counter when you start doing stuff like that, and you're doing that in a heroic epic city, so you build one of those units per turn. The only real counter is to get all the way to feudalism, because massing spears doesn't work that great against anything else. You deal with one threat from a person, but not everything else they can throw at you. And Parthenon doesn't do much at all. It synergizes quite well with building the Great Library if you build it in a different city, but just for the increased birth rate of great people. But again, it's expensive, and I can't really afford expensive wonders. It's 80% the cost of mids. Mids would be significantly more useful. So whilst aesthetics is a bit of a wasted tech, literature wouldn't be. I mean, so you just build the national epic in that city with the Great Library, and then what you do is you work 2 scientists to make what is it, base 12 plus 2 plus 1. So you're looking at 15, 30 great people points a turn, most of them scientists, and you just end up adding the scientists to the city. It's not great for It's not the best thing you can do. You could bulb with them, but the bulb path for scientists is good in certain circumstances, but not if you want to just kill people. But if you add them to a city with an academy, with a library, basic great scientists, again, they make 6. Back. They make 6 beakers per turn, so they're not. So again, it's like when you go put them through the multipliers, it's like 10 beakers per turn you get just for each one you add to the city. It's not great if you've got lots of cottage cities all over the place and you're making 2,000 beakers per turn. I mean, what's an additional 10? Who cares about that? But when you're struggling to make 50, 60, 70, that actually adds up quite quickly. If you just add 3 to a city, you'll get great. You'll have really good research for a really good research rate just forgetting the ancient and classical and medieval era text. Falls off a bit later on, doesn't add as much as you really need to get text in a timely fashion, but it's good enough to get all of the early stuff. And now some people will argue the point and say that actually when you add uh, like great scientists and great artists and whatnot to cities, you actually want the per turn bonus, and you want the game to go longer, so you get that benefit for longer. That's completely true, but as I said, in this game, I'm trying to end it fairly quickly, and I've got to build an economy to do that. So the less I spend on trying to build an economy to do that, the more I can spend on killing people, the better it gets for me. And it's not that expensive to build a 350 hammer wonder in one city plus a 250 hammer national wonder that I've not got to race people for. Says, and that I can take away a great artist from that beeline to bomb somebody to open up a potential attack and to try and take someone out of the game quickly. It's like there's a lot of tactical advantages you can get from going up this line, and that's what I'm considering going for after I get mathematics, calendar, and horseback riding. I might end up just ignoring ironworking, ignoring construction for a bit, ignoring currency and alphabet, and going for this line. But that's something I'm going to have to decide in about 20 turns. It's not something I can decide now. Well, I can decide now. I can say screw maths, but I'm not going to do that. So it's just carry on building the settlers right now. Finish the granary. Actually, I'll go through the cities. There's finishes the settler with one hammer overflow, which because of imperialistic I lose. So but there's not much I can do about that. This settler I build for 3 turns. I'll get it to, what was it, 28. It makes base 16, makes 20 base. So it'll go to 28, 48, 68. I'll then whip it for 1 pop and it'll immediately regrow. The 1 pop will produce 48 hammers. So I'm going to overflow out, what is it? See, I'll need 32, 48, 16, plus that turns production. I'm going to get out maybe a third of the granary. So that's not going to be too bad. And then I'll be able to finish it quickly in a matter of turns and then finish the axe. I might actually do the axe first and then finish the granary, because unless the granary doesn't need to be finished till the food bar's half full, I don't want the axe to lose any hammers through decay. Raise your donga. Yeah, I worked one of the mines for 2 turns to finish the granary, to lower the amount of food I produce, to increase the size of to increase the amount of food I can save in the granary. Nothing special there. I'll finish the axeman after the granary. ARAM collusion. 5-turn settler. It'll overflow out 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it'll overflow out 1 hammer, which will 19. Yeah, actually, I can't even work that tile. I'll overflow out 1 hammer, which I can't save. So there's that, and say Baron again. It'll produce 22 hammers this turn. It already got 8. It'll go to 30. I'll immediately whip it, and I'll actually go off the sheep, which I'll then, I suppose, I'll give to ARAM collusion for that turn, which I think might enable it to work the cottage for a single turn as well, to pick up a bit more commerce. So and still get the settler due in 4 turns. That granary, yeah, complete. Immediately regrow onto the sheep again. Grow to size 4. Double whip a library, because I'm going to drop 1 chop into it when maths is done. So worker 4 finished a cottage this turn. I was considering moving it to road, but I'm more likely now just to move it to yeah, next turn I'll move it to road. The other the other worker, I'll move to here, and I'll road that as well, and then I'll move both of them to chop to get it done quickly after maths, and then move back to mine the hill. I think that'll be it. I was going to work a mine to um, get the hammers I needed, but I think it's better to chop and grow faster. Just work the lake tiles if I need to use 2 food tiles. So, I mean, the commerce isn't a problem. Hell, if you think that it's a good idea sometimes to work coastal tiles after you build a lighthouse, you might as well work lake tiles if you don't need to build a lighthouse. I'm gonna give it that tile back because yeah. So yeah, you can see that how I could have used that cottage earlier, but I can't use it now for a bit. So it's a bit of a wasted 4 turns, like bad prioritization on my part. This worker. Do something on this tile. Cancel road. The pig. And then move it down. This worker will likely road this tile and then again move down. 2 workers here. To workers 2 and 6 can improve die city. So that means 1, 3, 4 and 5 can do the other 2 city locations. Yeah, I am starting to prefer city 8 for the front city against Pindicator. Even though it does mean that it's potentially possible that Novice tries to steal the gold, but I'm not that fussed about Novice. If he tries to do that, he's stretching himself quite thin, I think. Yeah, I think that's the turn. Nothing completely untoward. No one sitting on my borders with 5 horse archers about to hurt me. One thing I do need to consider, one last thing, is which settler gets sent to which city location. Because Aram Collusion's over here, it's much better to send that one down to either City 8 or 7 site. But one of these 2 cities, it's only a turn behind. I mean, the settler from here to my big is 1 turn behind. Got the reset, apart from the fact got the resets 2 turns sooner being built, so it's like 3 turns behind really, getting over to one of the western sites. The point is, do I want to settle a city at the die a bit earlier, or can I wait a bit and plant that city when the chops immediately happen? Because worker 2 and 6, if I cancel them both this turn, cottage. I mean, the absolute fastest I can get them anywhere is I could move them both to the city on 76, move them on 77 and chop on 8, 9, and they finish on 80. So here tomorrow big, the settler here will finish on 70, well, what was it, 75, 6, 7, 8, was it 7, 75, 6, 7, whip it on 8, move it on 9, move it on 80, plant it on 81. So if I move these here on 76 and then go 8, 7, because I can't count, 77, 78 they move on, then 9, 80 and 81 they finish. So it's fine that I can actually just move them next turn and get all the worker micromanagement synced up perfectly. If I was being a bit more aggressive, I would use 1 to chop I'd use 1 worker to chop a barracks. I could, theoretically speaking, chop 3 forests and get a library. That would be possible. I'd have to move this worker down. I don't want to do that because that's a bit of overkill. The horse is nice. Neither me or Thoth need it, but I don't need culture that much. I can wait a few turns to get the culture. I'd much rather get the granary down, hook up the rice, and grow this city, and have population there that I can slave for units. After that rice is done, I'm not going to hook up a second tile. I am going to carry on chopping. So I'll chop 2. I've got 4 other forests that I can chop. I'll chop 1 on the hill. I'll chop the die cities, the forest that Thoth can move on to camp next to the city. I'll chop those two afterwards, after I've done these two and hook the rice. Um, Hopefully by that time I'll have grown the city to size 2 and I can one pop whip the library afterwards. Then I can chop out um, a barracks after that if I want to. But that's something I can do later on, decide at the time. Depends on what Thoth builds in the city. He only makes one culture per turn due to a monument here, and he makes none here. So that's, again, he's just relying a lot on monuments. So yeah, that's the turn. Okay, I'll be back later. Hopefully I'll be back later.